everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 3 books that I've completed and read within the past couple of weeks. And they didn't take me long either because apparently I'm into murder mystery and thrillers and romance. Well, the romance wasn't really a surprise there, but with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about it. The first book that I haven't fully completed. I say that, but I've read this book before, and it is The Night Country by Melissa Albert. The problem I had is I could not finish it again. Like I wanted to get a better grasp. I got a better grasp of it, but it was boring to me the second time around. I got what was happening. I understood what was going on. I couldn't bring myself to finish it again. And plus I had other books that I really wanted to read and get into. The Night Country is like high fantasy about fairy tales coming to life, living in New York. The classic whodunit murder mystery, somebody getting framed for it. So yeah, not really for kids. I say maybe like 15 and up. People can probably read this. Very bloody. Very nice though. But yeah, I just couldn't finish it the second time around. I would rate it a 3 out of 5 because of that. She is a really great author. I've read the rest of her other series. Again, it took me a little bit to get into because I didn't really understand what I was reading at first, and I had to read it again because I was like, what in the world? There's a sub-series that goes with this talking about the original fairy tales and why they go through some of the things they do, which I thought was super helpful. And I was like, oh, I see the world building. I see how they fit into the world. That's nice. I'm really glad that she did that. Super awesome. Very dark fairy tales. I've talked about that in another video with just some of her poems and whatnot. Super great. But yeah, I will have to put this and shelve this one, so. And that's okay. If you guys ever have to shelve a book, that's completely fine. Like, do it. Why read something you don't care for? I'm slowly starting to grasp that myself. Like, if I don't like something, I'm just not gonna read it. I give things a chance before I shelve them. And I've given this one too, so I think it's time to put that one away. So anyways, my second book that I'm obsessed with now is book 2 called The Wicked Souls by Katie Wismer. Beautiful cover, amazing story. Again, kind of another murder mystery, believe it or not. 4.5 out of 5. I would definitely rate this. It is a slow burn romance. What I meant to say is that I'm an eager reader to slow burn romance. Like, I want the characters to get together. I want them to fall in love. I want their romance to bud as quickly as it can. But if slow romance is done and written well, then I don't mind that. I appreciate that. Then that means it's more rewarding when it gets to that part that they do actually get together. That's what I was trying to say. Anyways, it's so spicy. And that's all I'm gonna leave it at, guys. But you're gonna have to read a good portion of this book before you get to that. Heads up. Interesting relationship dynamics, such as the tropes, friends to lovers or partners to lovers, if you will. Lovers to bygones. I don't want to say lovers to enemies. I kind of wish it was like that just so it was more fitting because, again, with that relationship dynamic, it would have been completely fitting and completely understandable had Valerie decided to cut that relationship off viciously. I would have loved to see it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just a different kind of person when it comes to that kind of stuff. In books. Awful. Absolutely awful. But anyways, no spoilers there. I'm not talking about spoilers today. You guys are gonna have to read it for yourselves. There is talk of vampires and werewolves, wendigos, obviously witches, the blood witches, different types. Didn't pay too much attention to that. I was more for like what the plot was about and what was happening with our main characters of Miss Valerie and Prince Reginald, also known as Reed. So the plot is basically both of them finding a cure before she gets completely bloodthirsty and kills everybody that she knows and loves around her. And also Wendigos infiltrating the entire world. So that's super interesting that they would bring that into light. And I really appreciated how it was just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? What's going on? Who's doing this? When they only had one name and one lead, and it was getting them nowhere. They were on a rabbit chase this whole time. So very fast paced, really like that. Except for the slow burn romance. That's the only reason why I probably rated it 4.5 out of 5. But I would really bump that up to 5.5, 5 out of 5. But just for that aspect alone. And also with the trigger warnings and stuff. If you guys read the first chapter, she will go into the different trigger warnings on her website, which you can follow and type into Google. Eluding Destiny is the last book that I just finished reading this past week. I know I'm usually a slow reader, but these books that are fast-paced, I think that's the area that I'm getting into now. 4.5 out of 5 for this one. I know I talked a little bit about her first book, the prequel, how I rated it a 3 out of like 5 because it was really slow to start with. It was hard for me to get into, etc., etc. So Eluding Destiny 1, I was kind of having the same expectation for that one. And to be quite honest, I was surprised when I was drawn in. And what I mean by that is it just, after the first chapters, when you got the recap and everything, that's when everything started to happen. And all the things started to happen fast. So there was a lot of drama. I didn't like the whole fade to black sex scenes or anything like that. I don't know, I wasn't a fan of that. I'm like, just, you can do away with that. But the point of that book was not for that. It wasn't really focused on no, it wasn't not focused on romance. It was, but in like a roundabout way, because there was a lot of different stuff to unpack in that book. Layla finding out about her family and with her boyfriend Jeremy, a lot of drama between those two. I think that's kind of what drew me in, I'm not gonna lie. Again, murder mystery, awesome, just awesome. I read it through within like a week. So I thought that was great. Yeah, I can't read Eluding Destiny book 2. I don't think that's what it's called. It's like something else. I'm gonna have to look back again, but I will update you guys on how the rest of the book series that I'm reading are going, what the ratings are, the plots. I'm not really doing it justice on what this plot was. Eluding Destiny's plot was basically about two soulmates come together and they're super powerful together, and somebody does not want them to be together in this book. So they are doing everything in their power to split these two up because apparently I don't know. It doesn't really explain that too well. They just are like, hey, I just need you guys to not be together. Because Layla, she goes through a lot of traumatic stuff during this book and a lot of hurtful stuff, but not directly at her. Like, she herself isn't almost getting killed, dying, or getting hurt or injured or anything like that, unless if it's of her own accord. It's what's happening to the people she knows and loves around her that she's knowing that she's the target, which I feel like that's worse. I mean, obviously, if you get physically hurt, that's pretty bad too, but you guys read it. It's actually a pretty good series if you like fast-paced thriller / murder mystery / romance. I think that's like the genre I'm really into right now, murder mystery, but not full on murder mystery. There's gotta be a little bit of like romance sprinkled in there. So if you guys read any of those books and you want to talk about it, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, unsubscribe if you hate my channel. That's okay too. But yeah, I don't know. That's it. That's all I wanted to jump in on here and talk about real quick. Go make yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and have a great rest of your day. Thank you again for stopping by. Goodbye.